So when you get your canister kit, it will be raw. It will look like this. You will also get your knob, ceramic knob with hardware, and a little raw timber bead as well. When it does come time to put your knob together, what I like to do is pull these apart and stick a bead in it. You can just leave them as is. They're a really beautiful knob anyway. That's entirely up to you, but I will show you when we get to that part what I like to do with them. Your canister set will come with a hole already pre-drilled into it, and that is the perfect size hole for you to fit your knob hardware into. I've gone in ahead and I have painted 3 of these already in our dusty pink colour. So 2 good coats of your paint depending on the colour you're using if you're happy with your coverage. This was 2 coats of the pink. If you are choosing the pink colour, obviously there's other options as well. And I've just brought it right to that outside edge. When this is put together, it will have a seal around it as well. Seal comes in the kit for it. I like to take those off via paint and put those on last when everything's done, including the lacquering. So we're going to get stuck into these and let's have some fun. So when painting your design on the top, just be mindful of the fact that your hardware is going to sit over the top of part of it anyway. So you are going to lose a little bit if you do anything too far in the middle. It is going to be covered. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to grab some white and the 5mm brush. I'm just going to do an outside design on it. So I'm just going to stripe around the edge. Really simple. Just remembering not to put too much on your brush. You want to stay inside this edge on the top, and also the one on the bottom, you don't want to get any paint on it. So just all the way around the outside. And that's that one. Really quick to do. It will be 2 coats of this, just to get a nice white colour on it. So done. What we're going to do is let that dry and then pop back in and do a second coat on that white. Your canisters now had 2 coats of your base colour and 2 coats of your little stripe colour. So what we're going to do with this one is just a really simple dot design. And we are going to dot both the top and the bottom of this one. You can leave the bottom raw if you like. I'm just going to leave it raw timber, and I'm just going to do a really simple dot on it. And quite possibly the same on our little timber knob, so as they match. So first I'm just going to go in and I'm going to do with the larger of your dopper. Just a fairly random design, nothing too structured. Just be mindful, like I said before, of your hole in it. When your hardware goes on, it will take about 1 centimetre either side of that hole with the hardware. So when you're putting your design on, try not to concentrate too much in that area because you're not going to see it anyway. So no particular pattern at all. And then we're just going to pick it up gently, and we're going to do a dot on each of the white stripes as well. So just a really simple dot in the middle of those, all the way around. And with the same size, you're just going to go in around it with your white. Just in the top section, we're going to leave these ones as they are. So just in around it. Okay, I think I'm happy with that. Now you're just going to grab your small one. You might want to wait until it's dry to do this. If you're happy to go ahead, then definitely keep going. Otherwise, leave it to dry so all your dots are nice and dry before you start picking it up and moving it around. But otherwise, I'm just going to go in between it, in the black, with this small stotter. And that's it. So what we're going to do, we're going to leave that to dry. And then we're going to pop the hardware into it. Before we do that, but what I want to show you is what I'm going to do to the underside of it. So with your underside, what I'm going to do with mine is I'm going to take the big dotter. And I'm just going to go in with some black dots on the bottom. I just find when it's empty, it looks cute if you can see a bit of a pattern coming through. So nothing too fancy, just really simple black dots. So yeah, just like that. And then I like just to bring it up around the edge here. And that's it. Just super simple like that. I'm just going to put that aside to dry. While I do, I'm going to grab my small dotter again. And I'm going to just paint some dots on this. Sorry. Now you just need to somewhere to pop this till it dries. Usually what I find easiest is, try not to wake the puppy. I just like to grab like a screwdriver or even a skewer or something that I can pop that onto. And then I like to sort of find somewhere to stick it so it sits up and dries. So I'm just going to go around, put some little black dots. So I'm just going to leave that to dry now, and then we're going to come back and pop the hardware on it so you can see how we put the knob together. So our design's totally on now. It's our top and bottom, and it's dry. And what I want to do is want to show you how to put together the hardware. When you receive it in your pack, it will look like this. So what I like to do is pull it all apart. Probably should have unscrewed this earlier. Now I do leave the screw full-sized on it, only because you might want to play around with this more and pop something else on, but otherwise it fits perfectly for this design. And then after that, if you wanted to take the bead off or what have you, or not use the bead, then you would just need to simply trim that down even more. So what we're going to do is take all the parts off. Then what I like to do is grab my bead. So simply pop that straight onto the top of your screw. Then I like to flip this upside down. I like to grab the base plate, put it on next, then put my knob on. So at this stage it looks like this. Then I put the top cap on the bottom of it all. So when you're done, this is how it'll look. And then I simply pop it through the hole in the top. As you can see, there's just enough for you to get that screw on. So washer on, washer first, and then your screw. So pop that down, tighten it as tight as you possibly can. Mindful if you're going to use something to help you tighten it, that you do have a design underneath that you could scratch off. So when we're done, this is how our little cap looks. So all that's left to do is assemble all your other ones and pop your hardware on them, and then lacquer it. Now I like to lacquer it all together. You could, if you wanted to, lacquer the separate components of the timber bead and the bottom. But for me, I like to lacquer it all together because it sort of seals around the hardware a bit and locks it down. You will find that the lacquer will come off your ceramic bit over time, and that's fine. You can rub it off straight away once it's dry if you like, and just sort of, you know, move it off with a cloth. It will come off fairly easily once it's dry. But otherwise, I like to pop it all together like that and then give it a good spray. So that's what I'm going to do, and then I'll come back and I'll show you guys the finished product.